Hey everyone, I hope everyone's doing pretty good. Hey, sorry I haven't been on my channel lately. I've been working a little late and I've been tired, so I haven't really done anything like the last couple of days. But I'm gonna try to get on here as much as I can. Listen, the weather's breaking, right? It's starting to get nice outside. You should be spending most of your time outside when you can. You know, that would be a total distraction from whatever's going on in your life. You know, in terms of getting a divorce or being separated. And not getting a divorce. Obviously, you want to be outside, so you want to think about all the stuff that's going on back here, right? So, just find something to do in your backyard, some projects that you have, or, start a gardening or something, start a garden or something like that, like grow some vegetables and stuff like that, because it's good to eat healthy anyway, If you have the yard for it, that's what you want to do. If you don't, then at least eat healthy. If you live in an apartment, you don't have access to a yard, try to eat healthy and stuff like that. It's good for you. Get some projects done around the house, paint. That's tedious, but it takes a long time, but it keeps you busy. You know, if you need a support system, don't forget your family, your friends. The close families and friends is what you want. That's what you want because you want to surround yourself with positive people, positive energy. It's what you want, right? Because it's just about getting through this, quickly. It's not going to happen really quick, but you want to take it step by step, and hopefully in a couple months you feel a lot better. And I guarantee you, you're going to feel a lot better in a couple of months. Once you know what you have to do, and you take that path, you move forward. You're going to be more clear-headed. You're going to have clarity. You're going to want to probably just continue with your life. Go on vacations. Vacations are great. I met someone on vacation on a cruise. You could take a weekend cruise, go somewhere. Out of the city. If you live in a city, in a town, go to a different town. Go, just get out. That's what you want to do. Just get out and about. Go some friends, close friends, if you want. That'd be great. Meet some new people. The coffee shops are great. I go to coffee shops all the time. I meet people there all the time. Go to the gym. Don't forget the gym. You want to stay healthy. You want to exercise regularly. That's what you want to do. It's all about moving. It's all about moving forward, And the better you feel, the better you look, the better you're going to be. It's just a fact, right? If you start feeling good and you're exercising, you start looking better, you can appreciate that a little bit more. Because a lot of times when you're married, you get too preoccupied being married, being a family man, and sometimes you don't do certain things that you should do. Let's say if you go to the gym, you might have gained weight a little bit. You want to take this opportunity, to get that weight off, get back to how you were when you first met, right? If you were in shape. If not, it's a good opportunity for you to lose weight. You're probably going to lose weight if you went through what I went through. I didn't have a support system. It was really rough. I lost 23 pounds in a month and a half, which is a lot. I lost the weight, but I didn't, it's not the kind of weight you want to lose. It helps, obviously, but it's not the kind of weight, it's not how you want to lose the weight. Trust me, it's not. If you're having a hard time sleeping at night, you know what to do, right? Go for a walk, get out of the house, do something, cook yourself something, watch some TV, all that's a plus. It keeps your mind occupied. Because it's all about moving forward. Remember, it's all about moving forward, especially for those that are not going to get back together. Move forward. It's a new chapter in your life. You're going to be a single man or a single woman. Just live your life accordingly. Just don't do anything negative. You can't forget about that. It's in the back burner. There's no need to be enemies, okay? You don't have to be enemies, especially if you have kids. Unless something really crazy happened, like someone got cheated on or something like that, then you don't have to really talk to them again. I wouldn't. But you don't have to be enemies with your significant other, okay? Because at the end of the day, things like this happen. Everybody knows the divorce rate is pretty high, especially for first marriages like mine. Actually, my significant other she got in touch with me today, and we had some words, and I told her not to ever call me again. It's a long story, but I don't need any contact with her because it just I'm moving forward. I don't want to I don't want to deal with her any longer, because she doesn't get it. She has no remorse for what she did. It seems like to me she doesn't have any remorse, so I don't want to deal with her again, other than my daughter, and that's it. That's it. Drop her off, adios, or I have to pick her up. If I have to pick her up, that's it. I don't want no contact. I prefer it. Like that's what I prefer. I prefer no contact with her. I don't want her to text me, don't call me, and don't stop by for any reasons other than my daughter. And it goes for her parents to her family, because her family was complicit, I believe, in my marriage getting dissolved the way it did. There's no doubt in my mind. They should have stayed out of it and mind their business, and they didn't. And they said some really cruel, terrible things. And I can't. They can't take that back. And I'm not gonna just be friends with and have contact with people who were complicit in my marriage being dissolved like that, and say some things. And it just for me personally, I don't want nothing to do with the family again. I wish them well in good health. Hope nothing ever happens to them. I still love them, but I don't want to see them again ever. That's just me personally. And if you have a good relationship with your significant other's family, and you want to maintain, you want to be friends, keeping communication, contact, I would wait a while, let the dust settle, okay? Because it's going to be hard. This is the first time I'm going through this. I don't know what's going to happen. I just don't know. I just know I don't want any contact with those people for a long time. I don't know how long it's going to be, but for a long, long time. Because they're not sorry about what happened, and it doesn't look like they're sorry. They always keep blaming me. I was the problem. I was always the problem. That's the kind of problem I had with my wife today. She kept blaming me for everything and took no accountability herself, because it takes two people. But at the end of the day, it depends. Every individual is different. It all depends on you, okay? If you want to keep in touch with your significant other, your in-laws, that's fine. But for some, you want to move forward, especially for me. Like I said, they were complicit. So I'm moving forward. I got my house going pretty good. I'm getting some stuff, buying some plants, pictures. My house is starting to look pretty decent now. I got it to where it's looking really homey. That's what you want, right? You want to start doing things around your house, and especially if you're going to live there for a while, you want to start making it a home. So concentrate on your home and your job and your health, right? Not in that order, but that's what you want. And your kids, if you have them. That's all you really need to do. Other than that, you got to follow that path to happiness, right? And, once you start feeling better and you really start dating people, then you start dating. That's what you do. Everybody moves on. If you feel like you have to wait a little bit longer because you're having a hard time, like I did, then, wait. Make sure you're certain about going back to dating, because it won't be fair to that person that you can't give them 100% of your attention, right? And don't talk about what's going on unless they ask. You can tell them brief history of what happened. Don't go into details. I guess when you get to know them a little bit better, you can go into details. But for me, I'm moving forward. Bought some outdoor furniture. Got the backyard looking pretty decent back there. I'm getting ready to start golfing again, like I used to do all the time. I'm getting back into this rhythm again, and that's what I want. I want to get back into the rhythm of doing the things I used to love doing, and that I did prior, but I'm definitely going to be doing more often, because obviously I don't have any obligations other than my kid. I don't have any more obligations. I don't have any obligations to a significant other. The person that I'm seeing, that's we'll see what happens there. So far, so good. But in terms of you and the path, look straight, Don't look behind you. It's over. Forget about it. You know, how you deal with it is totally up to you, how you want to deal with it, but you want to start looking forward, start, taking care of yourself, and, and obviously it's a life lesson learned. I'm going to learn. I learned a lot from being married. That's for sure. I learned a lot. And I know what I'm not going to do in my next relationship, this relationship that I have. Obviously you're going to do things differently. You might have to change how you are, change everything about you, or you're going to repeat that cycle, and you don't want to do that. So listen, I'm going to let you guys go, but please subscribe to my channel, right? Hit that notification, ring that bell, give me a like, share my content, short videos, long videos, and leave a comment, all right? I always respond to my comment. I know I've been out of touch for a couple of days, but I'm going to start responding to my comments on a regular basis, okay? Don't be afraid to leave a comment. I always reply to my comment, okay? Because everybody's going to be going through this. There are millions of people going through this. You're not the only one, okay? Just remember that. So, and if you feel like you need more advice or some counseling, get it. By all means, get it. It's good for you. Don't start drinking heavily. Don't do drugs. It's not good for you at all. Unless you have anxiety or something like that, make sure it's prescribed. And as always, use caution when you use over-the-counter medication, especially if you're pregnant or have thyroid issues or whatever that you're having. Just proceed with caution. And don't forget to be strong here and here, right? Because they go together. Remember that. They go together. Once you're good here, it becomes easier. And trust me, you're going to feel a lot better in a couple of months. You're going to feel, I guarantee you, you're going to feel a lot better in a couple of months. And that's what you want. Once you start healing and feeling better, boom, you're on your way, okay? So at the end of the day, just remember to focus on the prize. And the prize is being healthy and moving forward. So be strong here and here. Take care. And I'll talk to you guys later, okay? Be safe.